G'day YouTube. Today we're going to run through how to maintain and extend the life of your jet ski in cleaning them with Saltshift products. So let's get into it. So the first step you want to do is chock your wheels. Step 2, let's elevate the trailer. I'm going to use the bucket here. And that way all the water is going to run down. So you can see here we've clearly got a really salty ski. And we all know salt is quite corrosive. So for that reason, we're going to be using Saltshift. Saltshift is designed to dissolve all the salt back into a liquid substance and runs off the ski. It's actually a very effective, fast way to clean your ski, boat, or even your truck, anything that's been in a salty environment. And we're going to be doing this with a contactless wash. So we get our snow foam gun. Now what you want to do first is fill this with water, then add your formula. Reason being, it doesn't foam up. If you go the opposite way, you're just going to be foaming the bottle up. I'm going to add 900 mils, a scale on the back there. Saltshift also has scales on the back of the bottle, so you can kind of see how much you're using. It's approximately like a 1:20 mix ratio. So I'm just going to add about 50 mils in. I know it's a tad stronger, but pretty simple. Plug your hose in and start foaming up your ski. Now you want to start high and work your way down, just because obviously it's going to all drip down. If you start low and work your way as high, it's not as efficient. Okay, so some tips for when you're foaming down your ski. Obviously, like I said, start high, but when you come to your trailer, where places that corrode really quite fast and a lot is underneath the rollers, your axle, your leaf springs, and all the low points. So I'll come from this side and foam up. I'll try getting all my rollers there, around the wheel. Trailers always corrode out very quick, so very important to not forget about them. Now this stuff is safe to use on all surfaces, so you can see I was spraying down my Lowrance there. It's fine on the turf and seat and etc. Another good place to not forget about is around the transom area and within your intake pump area around here. So all you got to do is just leave it for 30 seconds. Don't get the mid out and rub around, because salt's also very abrasive. If you got a black ski, you can leave a lot of scratches. So all I got to do, saw that, just unclick it. Start rinsing it down. Another trailer tip, go on the ends. All right, so now I'll open my storage compartment. If you got a bunch of gear in there, you can empty it all out, give it a little bit of a rinse in there, and I'll also just rinse up around the hinges and within the plastic. I always like to hose down my vest as well. All right, now that we've completed the exterior, nearly, I'm gonna move into the engine. So I'm gonna remove my seats. Little trade trick here, guys. Put your seats in an upright position and leave them there for about an hour, and you'll see why shortly. All right, now moving into the engine compartment. Sometimes you'll have crystallized salt sitting on the top of your engine and your inlet and exhaust manifolds. Now, if you have crystallized salt, you don't have to get the pressure washer and blast the whole inside and saturate everything. You want to give it just a light rinse off, and then we're gonna flush the engine, let the engine heat up, and the water's going to evaporate, and then we'll move on to our anti-corrosion spray. I don't actually have a really good example here of crystallized salt, but what I do have is a good example of what we call salt circles. So if you don't use like a salt wash, see here, this has been rinsed off before. This is actually, I was doing a quick one the other day, and this is what we call salt circles left everywhere. You'll have that all over your whole entire ski, trailer and everything, and that's what corrodes everything over time. But what we'll do, we'll give it a light little rinse, just for the sake of it. Put my hose on the tangles. Alright, so we've given her a little rinse out in there. I'm going to undo the bungs now. ideally you shouldn't have too much water ever in here. We're gonna have a little bit from rinsing it. Maybe a little bit more than I expected. Always remember to put your bungs in. To be honest, you're always going to have a little bit of water sitting at the bottom of the hull of your ski. It's pretty much impossible to get rid of. And don't worry, it's not going to do any damage or anything like that. But see, this is drained out now. I'm going to put these bungs in straight away, because there's nothing worse, and nearly everyone's done it, when you get to the boat ramp and you put your ski in and you forget to put your bungs in. It's kind of embarrassing. Moving on to our engine flush formula. This formula here is safe within all your gaskets and rubbers within inside your engine. It's actually designed to go through your water jackets and etc. with no thickeners, no foaming agents, and increased surfactants. So what you want to do with this is get your little canister, chuck approximately 50 mils in, screw it back together. Now I'm going to have this straight on just a water setting for now and no soap going through. The reason I want that, more in particular to a Yamaha, is that they've got open circuit cooling. Sea-Doos have closed circuit cooling, so they actually run coolant through in the engine, and they're only cooling down the exhaust and exhaust manifolds and your intake grate and supercharger. So with the Yamahas, they're open circuit cooling, so we're going to allow the engine to warm up first, so the thermostat opens up, and then we'll flick it onto the salt set, and that way our salt shift isn't bypassing half our cooling system. Now, this is going to be a very important tip, and I can't stress it enough, and it's the opposite in boats. What you want to do with the ski is first turn the ski on, then plug your water in. When you finish flushing, unplug the water and then turn your ski off. Reason being, if you leave your water plugged in here and the ski's not running, it fills back up through the exhaust system and will fill the internals of your engine up with water. Not good. Does take a few minutes to start to happen, but yeah, just get into the habit of turning your ski on first, then plugging the water in. That's me out of fuel. So I've let the engine get up to operating temperature now. I'm just gonna chuck this onto setting number 3, set all the way around, and salt shift's gonna be flushing throughout my cooling system, eliminating all that salt and extending the life of my engine. I like to give it a couple revs just to get everything moving through out there and open things up. Don't sit there revving the tits off for ages though, it's not healthy for the ski. Alright, so now we've flushed the ski, unplug my water. Happy days. Alright, next step. Gonna get our anti-corrosion Lano spray and go absolutely ham with this stuff. I also like to use this every now and then on the hinge, on my hinges. Use it on your jockey wheel and also touch up your plug. Packing away, now Sea-Doos, they've actually got a flush point permanently mounted into the ski. You can actually see on this one. Quite handy, to be honest. With Yammies, see this, I permanently leave this in my ski all the time. I just leave it in this bucket here, and that way no matter where I am, I'll always have my flush hose with me, and I'm not going to get somewhere and go, oh, where's my flush hose? So, now back to the seats, what we mentioned earlier. You can see all the water that's come out of them. They fill up with water within all the foam, so it's always good to leave them off and keep them upright so all the water can drain out. Now if your ski's sitting in your own garage at home, like not an external carport or on a pontoon or something, just leave the seats off and let the engine compartment dry. There's nothing worse for a ski than putting the seats back on right now whilst there's still water in there and the engine's hot, because now you've just created a really humid environment, and that's going to accelerate any corrosion within your engine. Even though we've put anti-corrosion spray and rinsed it down, stuff will still find its way. And if your ski is sitting in a carport or like a shared basin or something like that, this is what I personally do with mine. Chuck a block of wood there, put the seat on top. This one's not clicked in either, and now at least it can vent out and it's not a closed environment within there. Now just one more step to do, dry your ski off, use a microfiber towel. This brings out a nice shine with them. You can see how salty that was earlier, but yeah, nothing left there now, completely eliminated. I'll just dry it as well. Happy days, ski is all clean and ready for its next trip. Guys, if you like this video and you find it helpful, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you've got any other further suggestions or tips, feel free to drop a comment below. Till next time, you.